Hello, great people. The presidency of Bola Tinubu is displeased that the newly emerged leader of the Conservative Party in UK, Kemi Badenoch, has refused to identify with Nigeria. Kemi is of Nigerian origin. Of course, the name Kemi, that's a Nigerian Yoruba name. Now, people in the Tinubu presidency have been trying to reach out to her. They've been trying to kind of like associate themselves with her, but the lady has, refused to look their way. In fact, there have been calls to her phone, which, she has not either answered or returned the call. So the Tinubu presidency, there is anger among them that why is she behaving like that and failing to identify with her Nigerian roots. In this video, I'll be telling you why Kemi Badenoch is behaving like that. I'll be telling you what our emergence means for Nigeria and why our emergence at the end of the day will not bring anything significant for Nigeria. And I'll be giving you an example, linking it with the former president of the United States, Barack Obama. And I'll be telling you Tinubu's administration expectation from her and whether that is possible or not. I'll be telling you that and a whole lot more on this episode of Politing with Dr. Omosholadeji. First, let's get something straight. Nigeria hardly invests in people. And not that Nigeria only hardly invests in people, Nigeria hardly make life convenient for people. What am I trying to say? Look at it. Just look around you. Think. Any Nigerian superstar, whether in the economy, in the sport, in entertainment, they are the one that made themselves. They were able to become a superstar, whether maybe another country has trained them or they train themselves and luck shine on them. You hardly see anyone that Nigeria has invested in. You hardly see anyone that Nigeria has trained. You hardly see anyone that Nigeria can beat his chest that, no, this is my product. I made this person. The only people that Nigeria has made popular is the politicians. So when people emerge into position of authority and global influence, you know what? The same Nigeria that have made life difficult for you, the same Nigeria that failed to invest in you, will be the first one that will be knocking at your door. Kokoko. So everybody cannot be the same. For Kemi Badenoch, she may choose not to identify with Nigeria because she believes that Nigeria has not done anything for her. And I will tell you another reason why she cannot just identify with Nigeria, why she must be wearing African skin but be un-African. I'm coming to that. But not everybody will be the same. For instance, Anthony Joshua, right, may welcome Nigeria, but not that Nigeria made him, but then he may become a global star and think that, okay, Nigeria is my root. I identify with Nigeria. And so many other instances like that. But that doesn't mean that when you become a star, you must identify with Nigeria. For instance, there are so many Nigerians in foreign prisons. If you go to foreign prisons, there are so many Nigerians there. Nigerian embassy in those countries, the Nigerian government will not identify with them. Nigeria will not work for their repatriation just as the US government did for Gambrian, that Binance executive. Nigeria will not look after their welfare. Just imagine maybe there is an Obasanjo scenario whereby a Nigerian in prison abroad, a lot of Nigerians have been, in prison unjustly anyway. And some of them, it is just a little fine that is holding them back. But because our embassy would not go there to collate or will not look after them, a lot of things are happening to them. Some of them are even dying in prison. If one of them eventually have the Obasanjo story, whereby he was able to come out from prison and he now becomes a global superstar, tell me, my dear brother and sister, do you think that such a person will be willing to identify with the same Nigeria that failed to look out for him or her? So before you blame Kemi Badenoch, let us look at our country and see how good our country is. Then something happened like a week or two before Kemi Badenoch emerge as the UK conservative leader, she made a statement, and I'm going to read it for you. She said, "This is my country." She's referring to UK. "I don't want it to become like the place, which is Nigeria, I ran away from. I want it to get better and better, not just for me, but for that next generation." In all honesty, the statement may be wrong. You may think that, oh, she is demarketing Nigeria, that, oh, Nigeria is a terrible place. But in the true sense of Ishe na lie, Nigeria no be terrible place. Tell me what is working in Nigeria. This doesn't have to do with the Bola Tinubu administration. This is a successive administration problem. Tell me what is working in Nigeria. Almost nothing is working. So if Badenoch says that she doesn't want to identify with Nigeria, that, she doesn't want UK to become Nigeria, shouldn't the Nigerian government itself even be saying amen to it? Shouldn't Nigerians be saying amen to it? You understand? Then Femi Fani-Kayode came for her. As at when she came for her, and as at when he came for her, and said a lot of terrible things about the lady, insulted her terribly. Abike Dabiri, that's trying to reach out to her now as the chairman of Nigerian Diaspora Commission, did not come out to defend her then. Perhaps if Abike Dabiri had known that Kemi Badenoch will emerge as the UK conservative leader, maybe she would have rose in defense of Kemi Badenoch, who happened to be a fellow female like her. Now, look at the response of Femi Fani-Kayode. Femi Fani-Kayode called Kemi Badenoch a stupid little girl, notoriously self-righteous. A lot of things, a whole lot of things, which I'll put it on the screen that you can read it yourself. So he said a lot of things to Kemi Badenoch. As at when Femi Fani-Kayode said it, and it became a matter of public knowledge, nobody defended Kemi Badenoch. Nobody came to her rescue, including Abike Dabiri. But when she emerged, Nigeria is now looking for her all over the place. Definitely, she won't want to have anything to do with Nigeria. Another thing is that, let us look at international relations and diplomacy. Kemi Badenoch is the leader of the UK Conservative Party. The UK Conservative Party is a party that is known for entrenching the British government supremacy on Africa. Some of the people that are long-term members of the Conservative Party, some people who are there are descendants, their children, their grandchildren, their great-grandchildren of those that perpetuated colonialism, slave trade in Africa. So do you expect that Kemi Badenoch, as the leader of that party, will be able to influence an ideology that is different from the ideology of those in the party, those we can call the real owners of the party? So if anybody is expecting that the emergence of Kemi Badenoch will bring any good deals for Nigeria, it's a pure lie. It's a pure lie, because Kemi Badenoch cannot operate outside the framework that she has met on ground. In fact, she has to be un-African despite wearing the African skin. If she tries to be pan-African or pan-Nigerian, she is going to be kicked out almost immediately. So Kemi Badenoch not responding to the Nigerian government is her trying to resist the temptation of being pan-Nigerian, because being pan-Nigerian will go against the ideology of the UK Conservative Party. I hope you are getting the arithmetic. Being Nigerian or being pan-Nigerian or pan-African will go against the ideology of the UK Conservative Party. So if for anything, Kemi Badenoch will be used as a front line to milk Africa the more. For instance, the presidency of Barack Obama did some certain things that if it were to be a white American president that did that, definitely people will come for that white president. For instance, if Joe Biden did what Obama did, he's not going to find it funny. And I'll give you two examples. The first one is the gay rights. Obama ancestry is from Kenya. Obama is ancestrally Kenyan. In Kenya, I've been to Kenya before. Like most African countries, anything gay, homosexuality is more like a taboo. It is not welcome. But then Obama became the president of the United States, and his government was advocating for gay rights and lesbian rights in Africa. In fact, they were going all out to entrench that philosophy on the African continent. And some people have asserted that that was one of what led to the Obama government working against the re-election of Goodluck Jonathan. You remember that during the Goodluck Jonathan era, a bill was passed that mandated 14 years imprisonment for homosexuality. This particular bill caught the anger of the American government being led by Barack Obama. And Barack Obama worked against the re-election of Goodluck Jonathan. So you can imagine that if that was done by an American president like Joe Biden, what the response of Africa and Nigerians would have been. But because Obama is an African, right, they didn't come for Obama. They didn't resist him. That's what they didn't kind of like tongue lash him or abuse him. They didn't call him racist. They only rejected the ideology. Another thing is that Obama's influence on the election of Goodluck Jonathan, whereby Obama allegedly supported the Buhari camp at that time. You remember when Barack Obama gave a speech shortly before the election. You remember the Bring Back Our Girls issue, right? That is interference in our election. So what am I trying to say, relating it to Kemi Badenoch? If Kemi Badenoch is to do anything, she will do something that will further entrench the philosophy, the interest of the white supremacists of the UK Conservative Party, that their ideology follows the pattern of neocolonialism, right? She will further entrench those ideology in Africa, particularly Nigeria. And if Nigerian government is not careful, definitely they will buy into a idea. So those are things that Nigerian government needs to be careful of. So you don't just rejoice that, oh, Kemi Badenoch has emerged. He may not bring good tidings for you, just like that of Obama. He did not bring much benefit to the African continent. And Kemi Badenoch needs to be watched very closely so that she doesn't bring the Western ideas and ideologies and just have an easy way in Africa. And trust me, if she has an easy way in Nigeria, in South Africa, then other smaller nations will just fall into line. So our emergence is really not much to rejoice about. If you trace the history of the UK Conservative Party, and she can't go against the party's ideology. But then Nigeria too should always try and make people so that Nigeria will get out to talk. You don't make people go emerge as superstars, you go one clinch. Look at all our stars. Davido, Whiskey, Burna Boy, Tiwa Savage. These are people that made themselves. Some of our footballers, they made themselves. Like this Ademola Lookman. They made themselves. Nigeria know they invest for any talent. Nigeria know they make people. And if you become superstar, now Nigeria can work quick. It's supposed to be like that. No, it's not supposed to be like that. It's been an interesting time with you on this episode of Politics with Dr. Omoshola. Dr. is a political scientist with a PhD in political science. And this is where we analyze politics and happenings in the politics. Do well to subscribe. Do well to turn on your notification button. Catch up with my past videos. And of course, I've got great videos coming your way. Till I see you again, you already know that I love you all sincerely.